Right then,
Mm.
Film Crack.
Yep.
Um, the first of a couple of RIP commemorative shows.
Yep.
Um, we mentioned this previously on another show when we did the book I Am a Cat and the cinematic adaptation, which starred the late great uh, Tatsuya Nakadai,
Mhm.
Nakadai Tatsuya, and we wanted to devote an entire show because he's one of our very favorites, isn't he?
Yeah. Um, in fact, in re-watching some of these films and then seeing a couple of these films for the first time, I realized that he might be my favorite actor of all actors. In a way, like as much as I mean, there's names that we hear regularly from me.
Hmm.
We have our Thomas Millions, we have our Wakayama Tomisaburos, and so on and so forth. Katsu Shintaro. But if you're gonna talk about like truly great actor with incredible range.
Mm.
Um, a guy who, at the age of 20 something, can play a man in his 60s and be completely convincing and compelling, or a guy who can play the coldest villains or the warmest, kindest, like just effortlessly, make it seem effortless, right? Um,
Yes.
you're talking Nakadai Tatsuya. And on top of all that, the man is like sex on a stick, which I think I hadn't quite realized until this time how utterly compellingly sexy the man was. Um, there's scenes of him like where he's got like his like samurai kind of kimono like hiked up, and you've got those thighs, and it's just my God, like what a slice of pure manhood was Nakadai Tatsuya. Um, and yet I believe happily married his whole life. I don't think he was a philanderer. He wasn't
Shall
in
I give
the.
you 5 minutes?
You might want to. As I said, I was shocked. I was shocked. Uh, um, yes, and it's funny because we're going to follow this with another show about another actor we both like a lot, who has just passed away within literally a few days of Nakadai Tatsuya. Udo Kier, a great German
Yes.
actor, passed away.
Yes.
And as I mentioned to you off the show, um, he was an actor who, when I was in my teenage years, I was confused by how attractive I found him because I was pretty sure I was heterosexual, um, you know, for the
Mm.
most part. But I remember watching particularly the Dracula film,
Oh yeah.
Andy Warhol's Dracula, and being like, my God, what a
I love
beautiful,
my men emaciated and
what
sick.
a what a beautifully fragile, like I
Yeah.
just want to take
Well,
him home and take
yeah, it's
care of
strange,
him.
isn't it? You'd think you'd think that that look would the very unvitalic kind of look. But then again, I suppose in the mid 90s, everyone was crushing on Ewan McGregor as a junkie, right?
Yes, yep.
And a lot of models, male models, look like they're on death's door, right? So there's some kind of weird connection between looking quite ill and whoa, being quite sexy as well, right?
And so, but what truly confused me was it because it puts me in two different places. In the case of Udo, I all I thought was like, man, I'd love to have that guy as a girlfriend. But when it's Nakadai, I can't see myself as the man in that relationship. Uh,
Right. No, it's like
clearly,
me. It's like me with
Idris.
yeah, Idris has got to be the picture there. Doesn't
Right.
work. The fantasy doesn't work the other way around.
Yeah, yeah. No, he's far too much a man for either of us to ever consider
Yeah, to
handling him.
handle. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think there's much chance of that happening anyway, so I think we're all right.
Well, it would make
But
life
anyway.
definitely very confusing if I came home. Ah, darling, I've just hooked up number one with a very, very famous actor. Uh, by the way, I'm a little bit gay now, which I wasn't before, and I'm a bossy bottom as well.
Mm,
Um,
mm,
because I'm pretty sure I'd be a bossy bottom at the very least,
right.
passive aggressive. Um, anyway,
Um,
back to
yes, back
Nakadai
back to the
Tatsuya, who I'm
actual.
sure the ghost of Nakadai looking down at this would approve.
Probably,
This
yes.
is exactly how I want to be remembered.
Um, No, I mean, honestly, we're going to talk about several films today, but this is a person whose IMDb list you could go to, and there's going to be a lot less. I mean, for somebody who's made an enormous amount of films, right? And not just that, but also appeared on stage, his
Right.
entire
I don't
career
know.
as well.
I don't know his stage work at all, obviously, but yes,
Yeah,
no. Apparently, he was very classically trained, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I made a little list of films that so we'll be talking six films. Well, and you'd be throwing in a couple more, just brief mentions, right? I guess. But you look distracted there, Nick. You're
No,
right.
no, I was just looking off. Are these my lists? Are where's my? Oh, my notes are back here. I'm just gonna go
Okay, go
lead.
ahead. Yeah. Um,
But yeah, go on.
but yeah, just like so we talked I Am a Cat before. Other couple of films of his we've spoken about was Odd Obsession, the key
Yes,
adaptation, and Face of
you Face of
Another.
Another when we
Yeah.
yes over on Magic Morning Wood.
But others that we won't be talking about today. I mean, the list just goes on and on. You got
Yes.
Conflagration, The Human Condition trilogy, Yojimbo and Sanjiro,
Yep.
Harakiri.
Now,
Uh,
did you talk about Harakiri before with Ron at some
yes,
point,
we
or
did.
you
Yeah,
did? Okay,
yeah, and he
yes, I
really
thought
liked that
so.
as well. Yeah, High and Low, Kwaidan. He does the narration for The Human Bullet. Hitokiri. He's the voice of the devil in Belladonna of Sadness.
Okay.
Um, Bandits versus Samurai Squadron, Hinatori. That weird movie Blue Christmas. I don't know if you've ever seen that. He's in that. It's a very
Nope.
strange film. Onimasa Ran. He's in
Hmm.
Return from the River Kwai, which I've never seen,
Nope.
which I'm now interested to see because he's in it.
Hmm.
Heatwave, Princess Go. The one we missed a trick because I think we did line this up for doing originally, but I forgot, and we wouldn't have had time anyway. But he is, of course, in the live action Hong Kong version of Wicked City.
Yes, but we might just read the comics at some point anyway, and then deal with it
Yes,
then
possibly.
potentially.
Although
Yeah.
is that a comic? I thought that
Or is
might.
it just was it anime?
No, I think it's actually a novel,
Oh, okay.
and then it was an anime, and
Okay.
I might be wrong about that.
Okay. Well,
But anyway, the list goes on. He was in a shitload of interesting things.
yes. Yes. And certain of those things that you just mentioned are amongst the very finest world cinema. I mean, I think Harakiri is
Oh, it's
one of the best
amazing.
it's one of the best films ever made. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, it
I
is.
think if you haven't seen it, you're robbing yourself. It has one of the most epic final fight scenes. It's the slow boil, simmering rage that just kind of finally boils over.
Yeah,
It's heartbreaking as
yeah.
well.
Oh, it's a
It's
great film. I remember when we chose it for, as you know, me and Ron sometimes have very different tastes, but when we did it on Magic Morning Wood, um, and Ron sat down with his missus to watch it, and they were both like, "Fucking hell, this is good!" Like
yeah,
because they'd
yes,
never
yeah,
heard
yeah.
of it before, and they were both like just quite captivated by it. So,
Yeah, no,
yeah,
and it's a masterful performance. By
yes,
Nakadai because
yes,
he's playing a character much older than he actually is at the time, and you'd
right,
never guess, you know. And so he also shows up in a couple of other interesting places. He shows up in Zatoichi and the Fire Festival, um,
right, yeah,
which
yeah.
is a film. It's one of the better of the later. It might even be directed by Gosha Hideo, possibly. Like it's one of those
I haven't
later
seen it in a long time. Yeah,
when they're when kind of after they'd left Daiei and they were being actually produced by Katsu himself. He's in Tenchu, which is another film that I think is incredible.
yeah, Hitokiri, right?
Oh, sorry, Hitokiri. Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, and then Goyokin, and
Goyokin, yeah,
Goyokin
yeah,
is another one of my like top 3 or 4 Chambara. Like that's one I come back to that every 2 or 3 years, and
right.
every time the final scene of just the dudes drumming on the
Yes,
snowy beach, it just every time I'm like, oh fuck, what a great ending.
yes. Speaking of which, one of these at least has a fantastic ending as well, right?
There's
Yeah,
a few of these that have
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
strong.
So
Yeah.
we chose kind of so we could have talked about that, but we wanted it is from Crack after all. So we
Mhm.
kind of chose four slightly more off the beaten track choices, and on top, I don't know if you got to watch the other two as well. Did you watch
which
all?
the only one I didn't watch was the Kurosawa, I
Ah,
think,
okay.
which we can speak to. But and I watched a
Yeah,
couple of other ones that I'd like to briefly mention that I
yeah,
hadn't
yeah.
seen before.
So yeah, so we're talking for, and then I had to rewatch Sword of Doom and Kagemusha anyway for another project, so I thought
Yeah.
I'd chuck them in. And then yeah, so what you watched a couple that you hadn't seen before, right?
Yeah, I hadn't seen Cash Calls Hell, which is a Gosha Hideo film
Right.
that I missed, and I hadn't seen Age of Assassins either,
Ah,
which he
Age of
actually
Assassins is fantastic.
they're both pretty great, but yes, it has the edge over Cash
Yeah,
Call.
it's
Uh,
Okamoto as well, isn't it? It's the one they made just before Sword of Doom, right? Because
yes,
the way I
yes,
understand it, apparently Age of Assassins was a huge flop, despite being
yep,
brilliant. And then
yep,
Sword of Doom is like studio imposed, right, on Okamoto,
right.
but he knocks it out of the park.
He does, but yet it flops as well, and it's
Yeah,
not.
because they never, where we get to it, they never completed it in a way, right?
I'm interested to talk about that because I this is a bit of a full circle moment for me. We'll talk about when we
Okay,
get to that
yeah.
one. And then
Hash
no,
Calls Hell, I remember being like quite good, but slightly oversold to me, like when it came out on DVD and people were talking about like this noir masterpiece or whatever.
right.
And I remember thinking it wasn't quite. I remember
Yeah.
enjoying it, but it's not quite as
No, it's
brilliant
not.
as other people.
It's not Gosha Hideo's best for
Right,
sure.
right.
It's still great. So yeah. So we're gonna do this chronologically. Do we think we're gonna go start with the Beast?
I think so. Yeah,
Right. Okay. Sure.
yeah.
I've
Anything
not seen
else
it
you
before.
wanted to say about Cash Calls or Age of Assassins?
Well, if we're doing it chronologically, I guess I could just bring them up when we get to the years
Oh,
that they're
well,
in.
that's your lookout then, because I don't have them on my list. So,
Okay.
or you could just do Age of Assassins now.
Well, sure. I think the thing about Age of Assassins that's most impressive is the is Nakadai Tatsuya's two performances, right? Because basically the movie begins with him playing this kind of ridiculously broad, kind of nerdy guy with like
Yes.
myopia, because massive glasses, and
Yeah, I remember he has Coke bottle glasses. Yeah.
yeah, looking at people like this, like talking to people like right into their faces, and he's got terrible like foot psoriasis. So there's a huge amount of the film is him just being like, "Oh,"
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's right.
you know.
I can relate to that.
Oh, I think all of us late middle-aged man. But and so yeah, so his performance is great. But then he slowly transmutes or transforms as the film goes on into this like super cool looking kind of
Right.
James Bondy dude in like a kind of a priestly kind of like jumper and like a suit jacket, and he
Yes,
becomes
it's all coming back to me now. It's been a while since I saw it, but I remember thinking it was a fucking real bit of a hidden gem, Age of Assassins.
oh totally.
Yeah.
I was gobsmacked by how much fun it is, and then it's
It's
got
very
that.
playful, isn't it, if I remember correctly? And yeah.
Yeah, but also quite dark. There's a whole Nazi thread with basically there's like supposedly like Nazi gold has been sewed up inside of Nakadai Tatsuya's character, possibly like because he was in Germany during the war years, and then
Right.
there's this terrifying kind of like madman played by that actor who you remember his name, but the guy who was also he's one of the Shocker villains in he always plays kind of creepy uh
Oh, Hideo Yamamoto.
yes. He's particularly good and
Yeah. Well,
very
he's
creepy.
always just if Nakadai's sex on a stick, this guy's creep on a stick.
Honestly,
Like
yes, yeah. And he's also in Cash Calls Hell, actually, playing kind of a similar
once
role in
you
that as well.
notice him, he's in everything.
Yes,
He's all across the early years of Tokusatsu as well, right? Like he's always popping up in all sorts of things,
right.
and it's
He's
always great to see him because no one does. He was born to play colorful Tokusatsu villains, I think.
Yes, definitely. But he can also restrain it to some because he's in Sword of Doom, and he's great in
That's right.
that too.
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. I was just looking
Um,
over my review of Age of Assassins actually, and I seem to compare it to The President's Analyst, that James Coburn movie, which is
oh,
from
which
around the
I've
same
never
time
seen.
actually.
Okay,
Kind of a conspiracy kind of thing. Um, and
and
apparently it's based on a novel by the same person who wrote the novel that Black Tight Killers was
okay,
based on
oh,
it.
I haven't seen that in so long, but I remember liking that a lot when I first
Yeah,
saw it.
yeah, that's a fun
Um,
movie.
but um, but yeah, the other thing is that's kind of fun about it is he keeps he keeps getting this there's a recurring assassination attempts against Nakadai's character, and at the beginning he seemingly keeps bumblingly killing, like accidentally killing these people who are trying to assassinate him. But as the film goes on, it starts to become an open question as to whether or not he's actually a terrifyingly well-trained assassin himself. And
Right.
it's a kind of a question that the film kind of in a fun way refuses to actually answer at the end because it gives you a possible other
Yes.
reason that maybe
Is he
there's
Jason Bourne?
yeah
Yeah.
or not. Yeah, so anyway, strongly recommended. That was a new one for me and great. And Cash Calls Hell was lots of fun too. And it has that guy again who we've talked about before. His name I can never remember. Who's in tons of Yakuza films. Kind of weird, kind of weird face little guy. Um, Real little like plug ugly fucking dude. Um, Here, I'll just look him up. Um, but anyway, good movie, and again, a very attractive Nakadai Tatsuya in Cash Calls
Hmm.
Hell.
I'm
Um,
just looking up. Oh, Kunya Tanaka.
yes, yes, yes. Is he the one who you think would make a good um, Monkey
Lupin.
Punch?
No.
Yes.
No,
No,
no, no.
I
That's
didn't.
another
Yeah.
guy who's in the first film we're going to be talking about. Kunya Tanaka as well, of course, in Sword of Doom as well.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
No,
anyway,
Kunya Tanaka's good, and he's got one of those faces that has never changed since he was young to since he was old. Um,
yes.
Always a pleasure to see Tanaka Kunya.
There's a great scene actually, and there's a very cute little girl character in Cash Calls Hell, who because in Cash Calls Hell, basically Nakadai's character has been involved in a car accident and he's killed he's basically killed this woman's husband and child or whatever, and some part of the film is him trying to atone for his like sins or whatever. But anyway, so he ends up kind of adopting this other little girl who's very cute, and she's actually not a bad little actor. Um, but at one point, he asks her like about Kunie, and she just like grabs her. I'm not going to do it because it seems kind of vaguely racist, but she pulls her eyes
Yes, you
down.
don't like that the Miss Finland or whatever recently who
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But like,
Go on,
but
do it.
she's Japanese, so she can do it all she wants. But when she does it, she does actually look like him. I was like, oh shit, his eyes really do kind of go like down as opposed to like,
Yeah,
um,
he's got a yeah, he's a sleepy-eyed kind of face
yeah,
and slightly he's always doing that, isn't he?
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
But no, he's
Anyway,
absolutely great. I always yeah, he's always fun in everything. And he's good as well, even though he's mainly used understandably, I suppose, because he's got that face. He's mainly given kind of comic relief roles,
yeah,
or he's a very good dramatic actor as well.
I think he might be in some of the Truck Yarrow films later on too.
Yes, he's also in he plays multiple characters in the Pink Lady motion picture. If you've
Oh,
ever seen that.
nice. I haven't. No, I should see
Uh
that though.
that's yeah, that's quite of an interesting watch. Yeah. It's
Um,
interesting. The one really interesting things about the Pink Lady motion picture. It's bananas, but also it has footage from Pink Lady at their peak, their live shows.
hmm,
And it's like Jesus, like fucking the biggest stadium you can imagine, just
right.
rammed with people and huge, massive stage, and you're like, oh fuck, Pink Lady were like,
Oh yeah, I mean the
you
fact that
know,
they toured the US, which how many
wait,
other
yeah,
Japanese
for people
bands
who only know them from that Pink Lady and Jeff
right
rubbish.
weird
Um,
TV show, yes.
yeah,
Hmm. Anyway, I'm done with my two
Okay,
that I did on
so let's
my
jump.
extra
We should
homework.
probably get cracking because
Yeah.
we'll
Yes, we
be
have a
here
few minutes to
tomorrow
go.
at this rate.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, the beast. The beast shall die, I guess, is
Well
how
done.
this
Yes.
one is known as. So, uh, based on a novel by Hariko. Oh, I've written his name down.
Oyabu.
Oyabu.
Yeah.
Oyabu, yeah. Who I was quite interested. I didn't really know much about him, but kind of considered like the Japanese Mickey Spillane or something, right?
Yeah. I'm interested to know more if any
Yeah.
stuff's been
Apparently he loved
translated.
guns and cars, and
Hmm.
I think he was born in like was he born in like Korea or Manchu or something during the
Oh, okay.
war. Um and yeah, and now there's he's so well regarded. There's like a because he died a while back. There's like a literary award in his name, right, for new
Okay.
crime fiction, hard-boiled fiction, that kind of thing. So yeah, so he was very, very popular crime writer. This Yaju Shizubeshi, I think, is probably his most famous book. Been
Right.
adapted a few times, right? There's
Yeah,
this
this is the first. This one's the first adaptation, and it's adapted again with that what's his face guy who was,
Matsuda.
Yeah.
Um, not Ryuhei, that's his son. Matsuda, the Punch Perm guy from
Yes.
Black Rain, who died
Yes.
young. Yes, yes.
Yes.
Um, yeah,
And
the
he's
1980 Kanakawa Toei version of that. Have you seen that?
no, I haven't. I've heard it's good.
It's interesting. Yeah, it's much more overcooked than this film,
Right.
but it's one of those films that's fascinating, like all the way through.
Okay.
Um,
Apparently,
I
it's a two-part V cinema version.
Yes, in '96 as well with someone I'm not familiar. Kazuya Kimura, I think, was a bit of a direct-to-video action
Mhm.
star for a while. Um, yes, so there's something about this story which is obviously very, very popular. So this version, directed by Eizo Sugawa,
Mhm.
uh, who adapted Oyabu a couple of other times as well. Get 'Em All and Beast Alley. And oh yeah, there's a 1974. So the book, Yaji Shizubeshi, is the first in a series with this
Okay.
character. And there was a
I wondered
sequel.
because the
Yeah.
ending of this is wonderfully
Yeah.
open,
I'm wondering if it's a
right?
bit like a Japanese park or something like that.
Yes.
So the sequel in the 70s, something about a mechanic, with a different main star. Nakadai is not. I think that's kind of like the second book in the series, I think.
Okay. I'd be just seeing that just for
Well, I threw
giggles.
together a list here actually. I'm wondering what you because we got a lot. So I was having a look at some other Oyabu adaptations, right?
Hmm.
Or things he wrote screenplay, and you got The Last Gunfight, Get 'Em All, Big Shots Die at Dawn, a lot of Seijun Suzuki, Youth of the Beast, Cruel Gun Story,
Okay, yeah.
Bloody Shuriken, 3 Seconds Before the Explosion, Beast Alley, the sequel to Yaju's Dirty Hero, and Cursed Luger PO8. And
Okay.
I'm thinking, is that a couple of episodes of Film
That
Crack Crack?
might that might well be. Yeah. Pencil those in.
Okay, Ja, I'll put off watching them and we'll do
I'm
another
100%
show
down
then.
for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. I think we'll have
Um,
fun with that lot.
so in this one, Nakadai Tatsuya, he's like a young like graduate student, right? Who basically he has a
Yes.
he's a specialist in American literature. He works for this kind of like slightly lazy, sleazy, not in a sexual way, but sleazy in a like in exploiting his like his job situation. Basically, he does most of the work, which is then taken credit by his boss,
Nakamura
basically.
Noburo is the actor. Yeah. He's like the professor who he works for, who keeps talking about when he was in America and
Hmm.
yeah, he's going on about how Japanese society is going down the toilet or whatever, which is
Yes.
something they get back to all. Yeah, and yeah, Nakadai Tatsuya writes this eventually spoiler award-winning kind of essay, which seems
Hmm.
kind of a bit Nietzschean, doesn't it?
Oh yeah. There's very
Übermensch kind of thing.
crypto fascism runs
Yeah,
strong in this, and Nakadai's character. I mean, it's not really a spoiler because the film's very upfront from the very beginning that he is uh a bad one. You know, he's not a good guy,
Yeah,
right? He's basically a kind of a sociopath.
yeah. So
It's you know,
his first
yeah,
scene is basically we see him killing a cop, right? He's
yes,
killing a cop, and he steals his gun and badge and handcuffs and stuff. So
yeah.
this allows him later on to very much like a bit like um the which Baldwin is it who's in Miami Blues, right? If you
Oh
remember
yes,
Miami Blues,
yes.
he steals
It's Alec.
Hawk, yeah, Hawk
Yeah, yeah. Yes.
Mosley's not
Yes.
is it Hawk
Yeah.
Mosley? Yeah. Hawk Mosley's gun and badge
Done.
and handcuffs and stuff. There was a bit of that in there, I thought.
Yes.
And
Yes.
also, I
Um,
suppose, Kurosawa's Stray Dog as well, right? The missing gun and stuff like that. And there's a bit of that.
yes.
Yeah.
It's funny. There's one point in the film where they open up the question around Nakadai's character's sexuality, right? Because he's
Yes.
kind of he's stringing along this girl, you know, that he's clearly kind of using for sex and so on. But
This
then
is a
suddenly
Reiko Dan who's really good in this as well, right?
we suddenly
Her
see him.
character is
Yes,
awesome
she's
because
amazing.
she seems to be like almost as sociopathic as he
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
like
She's like a Lady
potentially.
Macbeth. She's like a Lady
Yeah, yeah,
Macbeth
yeah.
in a way, like almost like winding him up.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
because he kind of more or less reject, like she seems almost like her last scene in the film is almost like she's like, take me with you. Let's be
Hmm.
like Bonnie and Clyde kind of.
Right. Yeah.
She's like she never says it, but it's just it's in her eyes, right? And
Yep.
she's like, yeah, I'd like to see it. I'd love to see a spin-off about her, like what she
Hmm.
went on to do after
Yeah.
the
No,
Nakadai character spurned her, because she's a
agreed.
fascinating character, I think.
But then, yeah, at one point we see him like engaged in like kind of picking up a street like walking boy, right? You know,
Yes,
like,
who he
young man,
clearly
right?
knows from before as well, right?
Oh
So it's
yeah,
intimated that he kind of
yeah,
swings both ways, right? I suppose the only thing that's slightly problematic in context, I suppose, is the fact that maybe having him as that kind of character in the late 50s is supposed to signal a little bit
yes,
that he's a bit of a
yes,
wrong and the whole collapse of society stuff. So that
yes.
rings a bit,
But
yeah.
so the only reason I'm bringing this up is because immediately once that happened, I was like, oh fuck, this is very similar to uh that sociopathic character in that Tezuka manga we read not that long
Amu.
ago.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah,
right,
yeah, yeah.
with the bisexuality
Yes, absolutely.
and the kind of Nietzschean stuff and the
Very
like, I
similar.
just want to watch the world burn and fuck everyone and I don't give a shit and like and using women in that way, like it
He'd
just
have been a great
there
casting.
totally like
Yeah,
Nakadai of the age would
yeah.
have perfectly done that.
Better than that fucking guy they used in the.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, which I didn't the movie I refused to watch. But yes, and so then you've also got these two cops. You've got the younger cop who's kind of has a girlfriend who works in like a hostess, not all what
Yes.
it's
No,
kind
no.
of
It's
hostess,
just like a snack.
a mama san with
Hiroshi Koizumi is the younger cop, and another great leather face of Japanese cinema, the older cop,
yes.
Eijiro Tono, right?
Mm, yes.
Who's also in something else we watched. Does he turn up in Soul 2 or something? He's in something else we watched for
Yeah.
this. So he's always great as well. I like seeing him.
Mhm. And so they do a lot of kind of like hand wringing, like between the scenes of Nakadai just killing people and being a piece of shit. They're kind of because basically there's this whole plot thread around how their chief has gone all in on scientific, you know, process for investigating crimes
Right.
and so on. And they're all into like no, no, you man, you got to go with your hunch. You got to go with your gut, man, you know, and they feel like stymied by this obsession with evidence. Like, and that stuff is all kind of fun. And then yeah, you've got the younger cop also trying to figure out whether he should commit to this barmaid girlfriend of his, you know, or
Right.
not. Right. And
Uh,
then yeah, I mean spoilers, I guess, but it has this magnificently open ending where basically the
yes.
killer
Yes.
appears to completely get away with it and go on to do more. But then it makes perfect sense if this is novel one in a multi-novel
Yes,
I
yes.
was telling Jen she had read a series of books by Miyuki Miyabe a while ago that also kind of followed, and may even be inspired by this set of books, kind of followed a serial killer type of character, but over multiple volumes.
Right,
So one had a kind of a cliffhanger ending, and then you're like, oh, I've got to read the next book to know where this is going.
right. If you could only get a man to acknowledge this, then we might even read them.
Someday, yeah.
Yes, yes. Um, Wonderfully shot, nice black and white photography, Koizumi, nice jazzy score, Toshiro Mayuzumi. Yeah, no, it's a lot of the other casting I wanted to mention, another great character actor face, one I'm not overly familiar with, but she's so good in it's that remember that scene where Nakadai Tatsuya has been a particular asshole in the bar and he's getting
Oh,
that old
Jesus.
woman, the flower seller, to like dance for him.
Dancing, and yeah, that's
Yeah.
so great.
Yeah, that's Eiko Miyoshi, and she's makes a big impact in that small role, right? Like she's
Yeah,
really good.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Um,
No, it's a good
yeah.
it's a good one, this, isn't it? The Beast Shall
For
Die.
59 as well. For 59, it's a mean little film. Like it's an enjoyably
What
kind of harsh film for the
yeah.
time.
What's interesting, I mean I kind of knew reading about it, I knew about it, but sometimes you have to see things yourself to for it to really click. But it's interesting for anyone who's really interested in, for instance, is really interested in like um American film noir and stuff. What's kind of
Hmm.
interesting is the Americans kind of stopped making them in the mid 50s, but it migrates, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Particularly to France
Yep.
and Japan.
Yes.
And Japan picks up the ball kind of into the mid 60s almost
Yep.
in a way. They're still making very noirish films. So if you've kind of run out of classic American noir to watch and the French, Melville and stuff like that, have a look at this era of Japanese cinema. I mean, some of the stuff really does rival. I mean, even if it's just in terms of like the look and feel, like
Mm.
yeah, it's a really fascinating little period of Japanese cinema, which I think is a little bit overlooked because obviously people like people there's people who specialize in like the pink stuff that starts in the 60s and the exploitation stuff of the 70s and stuff like that. And obviously the classics, Kurosawa and stuff like that. But if you're talking like more um programmers or
Yeah.
commercial cinema of this era, there's a lot of really interesting stuff like this, right? This is
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, this is a very good example, but I'm not sure if I don't know if it's even exceptional. I would say there's probably even better ones than this or
Mm.
as good, right?
Yeah. And we're talking about Nakadai. He's
Oh, yeah, this
as
is
always great,
yeah,
right?
yeah. We're gonna get a bit say me saying that again and again,
Yes.
but it's
But
true in every little. One of these things was a bit of a bad, not a bad choice, but it was like, oh, he wasn't in it as much as I was expecting him to be.
yes, we'll get to that.
Yeah, but even in that, he
Oh,
makes
he's
an
great.
impression. Yeah,
He's great.
yeah,
Almost doing a Timothy Carey at the beginning when he first shows up.
right.
But yes, the rest of
So
that
let
film.
us move on though. So yeah,
Okay.
we might do some of these films a slightly short thrift because we are
Yes.
going to go
Yeah.
into Heige and Shifto. So yeah, next on the docket,
Mhm.
Illusion of Blood, right?
Yes. Which I'm embarrassed to say, I don't know. Or maybe I've seen it once, but I saw it so long ago I've forgotten it. That the more famous adaptation, like
Hmm.
Kwaidan, I don't know that either I've seen it and I've forgotten all of it, or I haven't ever seen it.
Well,
Um,
Kaidan's got nothing to do with it.
it doesn't? What am I
No.
thinking of? Okay.
Well,
Isn't
you're
this?
thinking of maybe Yotsuya Kaidan.
Well, maybe that's what it is I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. The Nobuo Nakagawa one. Or what you might have watched as well, because there's two versions of it with Katsushin Taro.
Yeah.
No?
Okay. Anyway, I don't
So
talk.
this is
Yeah,
your only Yotsuya Kaidan
this
version.
might be. Yeah.
Okay, so quick Cliff Notes version. This starts as a kabuki play in 1825, Tokaido Yatsuya Kaidan by Suraya Namboku the Fourth.
Hmm.
Kind of vaguely based on a couple of real life murders. And interestingly, actually, apparently, I was looking this up when it first. So when it was first performed, oddly enough, it was a mashup with Chishingura, the 47 Ronin
Oh
story.
yeah, okay.
Um,
Hmm.
we'll get into that another time because so yeah, so the Kanade Honshu because Chishingura as well has kind of changed versions, right, because of
Yeah.
censorship reasons, and they had to set it originally that they had to put it back in the past from when the real events happened and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um, and that started as like a puppet play, like a bunraku thing, right? But
Right.
then when they did the kabuki, yeah, so Yotsuya Kaiden was originally mashed up with the Shingura story, which is kind of interesting.
Okay.
Um, in the 90s, Fukusaku Kinji made that movie Crest of Betrayal. I don't know if you've ever seen that, which
No.
which did that again. It mashed Chishingura with Itsuya Kaida,
Oh,
which I
okay.
always thought was kind of interesting, but I didn't realize when I'd seen it, I didn't realize he was going back and doing how it
Right.
was originally presented, which is
Huh.
kind of fascinating. But yeah, but after that, they start telling, and it's been adapted, yeah, a lot, not as many times as Chishingura, because Chishingura is just insane the amount of times that's been.
Yeah.
It's even that animated one with dogs, the one
Yeah.
Chishingura.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, going back to the silence, there's so many versions of Yotsuya Gaiden. The more celebrated being the Nakagawa Nobuo one. Around the same time, he made Jigoku, right?
Right.
Um,
Yes.
and like I
So
said, there's
that's
a
the one
couple.
I might have seen that, but again, it's been so long ago that I didn't remember it at all. So
Yeah. Anyway, there's a lot of versions,
mhm.
including this one from 1966, Illusion of Blood, which I didn't watch for the longest time.
Mhm.
And he's going to get blamed again. He gets blamed for a lot of things. He's going
Mhm.
to get blamed again. Thomas Weiss's fault. I haven't seen this for a long time
Okay.
because in his book he says that
Mhm.
the 105-minute or whatever version we watched was some kind of international version, and that the original Japanese cut was like 3 hours long or something.
Mhm.
So I always put off watching this to see the
Until
longer
this,
version,
right?
which doesn't exist. It's not true, as far as I can
Mhm.
tell. It's total bollocks. And
Mhm.
watching this as well, like I'm thinking, there's no way you can add 45
Another
minutes to this. Where
minute
would
to
it
this.
come from?
Yeah.
So fuck you once more, um, Thomas Weiser. No,
Hmm.
75 minutes, he's saying. Something. Anyway, it doesn't. This is the version. This is
Hmm.
the only version that exists.
I'm going to say something just to future people when you're subtitling a film with a character's name is Iemon, use a capital I that has the lines at the top and bottom. Otherwise, it looks like your character's name is Lemon the
Right.
entire screen time. And my wife and I were watching it, and she kept laughing every time anyone said his name because Lemon is a ridiculous
Because
name.
lemon is, of course, the funniest of fruits. It
Exactly.
would be funny if it was called banana. That would be
Yes.
a laugh riot.
Um,
Um, like Banana Yoshimoto, right?
exactly.
Yeah. Who's someone I've never, in a similar vein to have not reading I Am a Cat for a long time. I don't think I've ever actually read Banana Yoshimoto. Have you?
Oh, I don't think so.
Oh, we might have to do that one day.
Okay, done. Um, so tell us a little bit about what goes on in Illusion of Blood there, Clive.
Yeah, so this is actually it's quite so there's a few different variations on the Yotsuya Kaidan, but
Hmm.
this seems to be the most kind of I think this is this would probably be considered the canonical
Okay.
version of the
The
story,
story.
right? Where yeah, so Nakadai Tatsuya plays a lemon
Yeah.
and
Iemon, yes.
he's kind of a samurai who's fallen on hard times like a Ronin.
Yes. Yeah, it opens actually with a scene that is important for anyone who is a fan of samurai cinema and stuff, because it comes up numerous times in Lone Wolf and Cub. You don't ever sell your sword because it's your
No,
soul, and
that's right.
you don't ever throw your sword at somebody else because you know it's, yeah, it's beyond the pale, right?
Yeah.
And so in this case, it opens him with him trying to sell his sword, and you realize right away that he's very fucked up if he's a samurai who's willing to sell his sword for booze money, basically. But then he actually does decide not to do it because he gets the hump. Oh, what his wife has left him and been taken back by her dad, right?
Yes. And
And is now
also there's a sister-in-law character as well, isn't there?
right, yes, and they're both being pimped by their piece of shit dad.
Yes.
Um, right, and yeah, and then Nakadai's samurai decides he's going to go get his wife back. Not that that turns out for the best for her or for him.
No, no. And yeah, so then there's also a so yeah, Okada Mariko plays Oiwa, right? His wife. And then
Mhm.
there's I think it's Osoda, right? Played by Ikeoji Jungo. She's like a woman of high standing who's into him, right?
Nakadai, yes,
And her lady in waiting who convinces him to poison his wife.
his wife, yes.
Yes.
But in getting his wife back, he ends up murdering his father-in-law.
Right.
And then another guy gets murdered too, and gets his face skinned, which is quite a grisly scene early on
Yes.
in the film, where
Yes.
they like play this dude's face, and yeah, they film quite goes for it for the mid '60s in terms of the gory side of things.
Right. Yeah, no, no, no. Yeah. Um, and yes, and the bodies end up in a swamp tied to a door, and
Hmm.
which is kind of one of the iconic images from the play as well, I think. And yeah, and the poison disfigures her as well, right? And then
Yes,
she comes back to haunt him. That's kind of the basic and then there's like a twist later on to do with someone who you think has died and who hasn't.
the person whose face
Yeah,
apparently was
so
they turned
so
out
I
to be
think
something
that's
else.
all in the kind of canonical version of the play.
Hmm.
Even though, like I said, it changes a little bit depending on because obviously because it has this long tradition
Yeah.
in both the theater and on screen, right? Yeah, so to your point, it is, yeah, it's got a bit of gore and I mean, it's ramped up and I think one of the reasons this isn't one of the better I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, me
Um,
too. But it
and I
doesn't have a
liked
great
seeing it,
reputation.
yeah,
When you read about it, it's people
no,
are
I think
not
and I'll tell you why, is because in comparison so this is a bit hysterical, isn't it? Like,
right,
it's
which
like
I'm fine with.
one damn thing after another, isn't it?
Yes,
Oh no, and then another, and it
mhm,
starts to fall under so and it gets a little bit silly, doesn't it? Just
right.
because it's
Well,
just
and
it's the pitch just keeps going.
the rubber rats are
Yes,
fairly visible.
yes,
Yeah, they
exactly. So that I think that's why especially if you see the number one Nakagawa version, which is a lot more restrained and yeah, and kind of spooky, I suppose. This
mhm,
version isn't that spooky because it's too it's the pitch is too high to be spooky, isn't it? It's just
right.
like it's more like a tragedy or melodrama or something, and it just
Mm.
keeps it's like
Yes.
it gets kind of you get a bit worn down by it, I think.
Mhm.
But it is a kind of fun watch.
It is. It's also in color. So everything we've talked about up until now has been in black and white. So
No, some of the other earlier versions are in color as well.
oh no, but I mean of the films we'll be talking about in this
Oh, right,
episode,
right,
you
right,
know,
right.
and it's quite a nice, bright,
Yeah,
vivid,
no, it
crisp.
looks beautiful. It's shot by Hiroshi Murai. Great score as well, Toru
Yes.
Takemitsu. Even a bit of uncredited effects from Eiji Tsuburaya.
Okay, which again are quite good. Like particularly her makeup when after he's basically fed her the poison, which is well,
Yes,
it's medicine and then it's actually poison. It's quite like a good,
yeah.
subtle
The same year
makeup
he would
job.
have been doing Frankenstein Conquers the World and Monster Zero.
Nice.
Actually, worth mentioning Hiroshi Mizutani, the production designer as well, because from the get-go, like you were saying, that scene when he said everything's very threadbare and shabby, isn't it?
Mm,
Like everything's,
yes.
all the screen doors have,
Yeah.
like have holes in them that have been painted away.
Mm,
Everything looks really worn down, doesn't it? Which is
yes.
interesting. You don't always see that in period films, right? Sometimes they kind
Hmm.
of, but yeah, so it has a nice sense of place in that
Hmm.
way, I think.
And Nakadai is particularly villainous in this. And
Mm,
it's interesting how often he carries a film that doesn't actually have a hero, you know?
right.
Uh, or if it has a hero, the hero is playing second fiddle, right? Like um in the one we just talked about in The Beast Shall Die, right? I mean, who the main character is the sociopath, and the cops are kind of like, who gives a shit, right? Like they're not really, you know
Yeah,
what I mean? And in this again, he is absolutely the center of the story, even though he's a complete asshat. Like he's awful,
right.
terrible husband, terrible human being. Um,
This
but
is the other film that had Eijiro Tono in as well, but he turns up as a priest.
oh, okay. Um,
By the way, I really like the woman playing the one who gives him the poison, the lady in waiting.
yes.
That's Keiko Aji. So she's also in The Bridges at Tokori, and she was in Kurosawa's Stray Dogs, which we just
Okay.
mentioned. I
Hmm.
haven't seen The Bridges at Tokori before, but I just
Nope.
recently read the novel by James Michener
Oh,
because I like James Michener, and
okay.
yeah, it's about some American jet pilots who have to bomb um these bridges in Korea during the Korean War, and
Hmm.
it's like a bit of a suicide mission. And yeah, so I'm all set to watch the film now as well. Um, but yeah, she's in that. That's like her Hollywood film that she did. But
Right.
she's
Yeah.
very good in this. I thought she's like, yeah. I'm surprised Nakadai Tatsuya did. Well, he did. Did he make time with her as well? Maybe at some point, her character, because she's kind of quite magnetic as well, isn't she? The one who gives her the
In the
poison.
film, I can't
Yeah,
remember.
yeah.
But he definitely just takes what he wants. He's that kind of guy. Oh, there's also that really disturbing, weird scene where he's got he's basically poisoned and killed his wife, but they have a baby together, and the baby's on his back, and then
Oh yes.
suddenly the baby's dead for reasons that are not clear
No,
to me, and it's
but
very
that's another thing
disturbing.
is clearly the baby isn't dead because it's moving around and stuff. Yeah.
Right?
So that's a bit of along with the rubber rats is a bit of a
Yeah.
interestingly. So this director Toyoda Shiro, he later made another film with Nakadai, which I recommend you watch, called Jigoku Hen, or
Okay.
Portrait of Hell, which is based on a Akutagawa Ryunosuke short story. Um, that's very, very, very good.
Okay.
You should see that.
Okay. Will do.
Um,
Um,
better
so yeah,
than
this
this. Yeah.
it's funny. It's hard. Like in a way, this ends up like his character in this ends up almost feeling like a rehearsal for what he does in what we're about to talk about
Yeah,
now,
actually, yeah, yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Which I think is a much better film, but dealing with a very similar character played by the same actor, right?
Yeah, so here we go with the Sword of Doom.
So I think what I'd like to say about this before we even talk about it is initially I wasn't going to rewatch this. Initially, I think when you said I said, you know what, I've seen it twice already, and in my mind I was like, and I prefer the three film adaptation made in the early '60s,
Okay, okay,
starring Ichikawa Raizo, directed by uh, Mizumi Kenji,
right. Oh, he
right?
did two of them, didn't he? It's a
Oh yeah,
different director
yeah,
for the third one, doesn't it? I think. Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Which I have vivid memories of watching at like 2 in the morning at the porn video store that I worked at when I was in my mid-20s, shortly before I moved to Japan. And I had all of this time.
Mm,
And the one thing we were not allowed to watch in the porn video store was porn.
right.
Um, so
You
I
don't
would
want to
have
you don't want to discredit the place.
no, no.
No,
So
no.
I I had stacks and stacks of spaghetti westerns and chambara and various things. And I remember at one point somehow getting like VHS. I don't know how the hell did I get VHS copies of those films? Anyway,
was it like Animego or something like that? Or
did they release sort of
I
the
don't
sort
think
of
they did,
they
but
did?
or maybe it's whatever later became that company that now puts them out on DVD, right? Samurai DVD or whatever the fuck they're called, you know.
Yeah, maybe. I just saw the lights strobe in here a second ago, so we will see how this goes. But
Oh, oh,
we have a storm happening here, and so hopefully we'll get through this. But anyway, so yeah, so all that said, Ichikawa Raizo is a great whatever the hell this guy's name is. I can't remember the name of this character. But I should know. Ryonosuke or something like that. But
yes.
and he
You're talking about
Daibo
Daipo Toge,
Satsutoge,
right?
yes,
The
yeah, the three.
source serialized source novel, huge thing. Started
Yes,
in 1913 and not actually completed in 1941.
yeah. So way back
By
then, in my 20s, I attempted to source the novel because it had been
yeah, no,
translated.
it's never
It
been
had been,
translated.
it
Has it?
has been,
Has
and it was
it?
translated back way back in the 20s or 30s, like back
Ah, this is by
like a long time ago.
Kaizan Nakazato, right?
Yeah,
So the entirety of it has been translated, or just portions of it?
I think a big chunk. I don't know if
Oh,
how,
okay.
but I think a fairly big chunk. And I remember looking like going through the university library because that was one of the few ways you could get something like that, like a book from the 30s that like
Right, right, right.
had been out of print for years. And even then, trying through interlibrary loans, it was impossible to locate. Found a PDF of it online the other day
Oh,
of the original, and it's clearly like almost photographed PDF of an
oh.
original like copy of the
Well,
book. So
please send that along.
yes, yes. So I will. I didn't actually download it because I think it wasn't something possibly you have to read it online, but I'll take a look anyway. Um, and yeah, it might be something that we might want to talk about later on one of the other shows.
Yes, yes,
Um, so so
yes,
yeah.
please.
So one of the things is this film is only adapting the first
Yeah, so it's
couple
whenever
of
they've
acts.
done it for this, because they've done it on the screen before, like you mentioned, 1937. I don't know if that version's extant by Hiroshi Nagaki, and then there's a 50s one. I don't know if that, and then a late 50s one, which is available. That's the Souls and Moonlight trilogy, right, with Tomo Uchida, which I've not seen any of the other versions. I haven't seen the Rise of Ichikawa one either.
Oh, okay. No,
Yeah, no, no, I want to see it.
those
I
are
want.
worth seeing.
Yeah, I've got copies. I've never got around because it just seems like a quite a big project to watch all three of them, you know.
Yes,
Um,
and you do get, but you do get far more of the story, right? Like,
yes,
so you'll get
yes.
much further into the novel if
Although
you watch the
said
three.
that, I do like
This ending
where
is
this ends, and yeah. So
so good.
yeah, so Nakadai Tatsuya plays, yeah, probably like one of his most like, I mean, just someone who seems almost sans soul, really, isn't he?
Yes.
Just like,
Also, can I just say that this of all the films we've talked about on Film Crack meets the criteria the least. This has a Criterion edition,
yes, yes. Well, like I
you know,
said, I only
DVD.
threw it on the pile because I was due. I have to rewatch it for another reason anyway. So
Okay.
I thought, well, I'm doing Nakadai, so
But it
I
doesn't
might,
matter because this film's again like Harakiri. This is another one to put to the top of your list.
oh, it's fantastic. Yeah,
If you haven't seen this, you need to see this ASAP.
directed by Okamoto Kihachi, written by Shiro Hashimoto, who wrote lots of Kurosawa scripts. They'd previously made Samurai Assassin together as well, which is a really good film.
Oh
Uh,
yes,
this again shot by Hiroshi Murai, who shot Illusion of Blood, but this one in just fucking immaculate black and white, right?
glorious.
Just
There's a
so good.
snowstorm. There's a snowstorm fight scene in this that
Mm.
ranks among the very best fight scenes in any Chambara. Like,
Combine that with Sato Masaru's score as
yeah,
well. And this
yeah,
film is it's just one of those ones like yeah, like Seppuku Harakiri. It's just just opens the music, the look, and you're just oh, I
hmm
already know this is gonna be fucking
yes,
amazing, and
yes.
you're all eyes and ears for the next 2 hours, right? It's Just
Yes, this one I actually I came out of the bathtub at one point to Jen and I said, you know, when I say out loud, like fucking brilliant. Like
right,
when I
right.
and I realized it's been a while since I watched and there was a few films in this set of films we watched where that was the case, where I was almost breathless and
Mm.
I'd forgotten that film could be that exciting, that it could evoke that level of passion
Yeah.
from me.
Were you watching this in the bath?
I was, yes, yeah.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. I might. That would be very immersive.
Yeah, no, it was a great. I had a couple of great baths watching Nakadai Tatsuya do his thing. But yes, you're right. He plays an absolutely terrifying
Yeah, well,
uh, character here.
he's like a master swordsman at this fencing school, and the way we're introduced to his character is like, and it's never really what I like. It's never explained. He's never like given a backstory, or he's never like, I don't know if it is in the full story. I don't know, but there's a young woman and her grandfather. They're pilgrims, and they're going through the titular Daiput's Toge. Why can't I say that? Daibusatsu, which
Toge,
is
yeah. The Great
translated
Buddhist
as Great
Path.
Bodhisattva Pass, right? It's like
Path, yeah.
yeah, and and the grandfather's there. He just kind of almost throwaway in a way. He says something along the lines of, "Oh, take me now, and because so my granddaughter can be free or whatever." And at this and at Nakadaito just immediately appears behind him as if like Candyman or something, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And
it's a beautiful scene because in
yeah,
fact, like the way he's introduced, like the old man's here, and then like the old man moves, and then like
yeah.
Nekadai's just here behind him.
And he makes his wish come true and he
He does.
slays him, right? Like, and he's no connection to this man. He doesn't get anything out of it. He doesn't rob him or anything.
Nope.
He just seems to be just enamored of death and killing, right? Like,
Yeah, there's an element of almost like that kind of the stories of the Masamune blade, the cursed sword, that
right,
eats your soul somehow, and I think actually maybe later in the story it does come out that it might be a cursed sword. That's something I'm remembering now, possibly, could be wrong.
mm,
Forgive me, but I have a feeling there might be an element of that that comes up later. But yes, basically what is established in this version is like his skill with the sword is so great that it has twisted his soul. Like that, basically,
right,
he's a person who should never have had a blade placed in his hand.
right,
Um,
right.
and some of the scenes of just the way he
Oh
moves
my God.
his
Yes.
legs, the way he like places, like just
Yes. He goes into he almost seems to go into like some kind of trance or something.
hands.
It looks almost like he's like just yeah, he's zoned out or something. He's just and his sword is kind of drooping
Yes,
almost, right?
yes,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
and
and his
it's
legs,
terrifying
yeah, yeah,
because
and
you're
his
like,
legs are just slowly sliding around to get
it's
the best.
brilliant because it's funny. I was watching this and I was aware there's an Ichikawa Reizo version and stuff as well. And of course, in some ways, Ichikawa Reizo is a bit more, well, not a bit more, a lot more someone you associate with on-screen sword play, right? And
Yes,
I can see how some people might think. And also, there's a scene in this where, so it's interesting. Mifune Toshiro turns up in a few of these films, but Mifune Toshiro turns up. And the thing with Mifune Toshiro is,
he's used well
obviously
in
a
this.
brilliant actor,
I think
but
he's used very well in this.
yeah, but one of those brilliant actors that sometimes it's easy to overlook just because he's so icon a little bit like how in later years Robert De Niro's come a bit of a caricature of
Yes,
himself. So you
that
kind of
yes,
forget how fucking brilliant he was, right?
yes,
And I think Toshiro Mifune sometimes is a bit of a cursed by his own
yeah.
reputation, right?
Hmm.
But there's a part in this where Toshiro Mifune kills a bunch of people with it, and then you realize, oh fuck, I'd have forgotten. That's why Toshiro
Yes,
Mifune looks like he knows what he's doing, right? Like,
he totally. I mean, yeah, he's a
yeah,
bulldog in this film.
yeah,
But like that scene is yeah.
yeah. But
As
my point is, obviously, you've got Ichikawa Rising, you've got Toshiro Mifune, and
yeah,
you don't necessarily think of Nakadai Tatsuya as like a action star necessarily,
yes,
but
in he
the
yeah.
way he does that thing in this is just
Mhm.
extraordinary.
And the last 10 minutes of the film, which is
Oh
basically
yeah,
just
Yeah,
just him in a bloodbath, like in a killing like fugue state,
yeah.
is is just
So
mad.
yeah, so we don't want to get too much. Just
Yeah,
fucking watch Sword of Doom. You
yeah,
do it.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
But what
brilliant.
interested me this time a little bit about watching it, so we won't go into the ins and outs of the story and what happens, but it's all fucking brilliant storytelling.
Mhm.
But what interested me about this is when we're introduced to the character played by Kei Sato, so it jumps forward in time a few times. So this is set during the Bakumatsu period, right, which is like the end of the Edo before we hand over to the Meiji. And
Yeah.
and I think what I probably wouldn't have realized so much watching it the first time years ago, because I didn't I'm still no expert by any means, but I knew nothing of Japanese history or whatever. I probably wouldn't have clocked that the the kind of band of assassins that Nakadai Tatsuya's character ends up joining. It's the
Yeah,
Shinsengumi. It's
is
the
the
Shinsengumi.
Shinsengumi?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Shinsengumi are they're the Tokugawa shogunate loyalists
Hmm.
who are kind of opposed to the what would become the Meiji Emperor and opening up to the
Restoration.
rest of the world and
Hmm.
the capital moving to Edo and away
Hmm.
from and all that. Their loyalties lie very much with Kyoto and and all that
Yeah.
and the Tokugawa and the shogunate and there's a whole bunch of movies and everything about the
Uh,
Shinsengumi is a fascinating kind of story. Obviously, to some villains, to some folk
yeah.
heroes, to others. It's
Yep.
interesting how how they're shown on screen in different versions depending on whose politics are
Yeah.
and everything. All fascinating. But I wouldn't have realized that before. And it's interesting as well, and we'll talk about this more, or I will, because you didn't watch it, but when we get to Kagemusha as well. What's interesting about this film as well is some of the Sleepy Eyes of Death films do this really well as well, is they take kind of periods of history, um, but very much as a backdrop, and in some ways quite authentic, but they they find these little like lacunas where
Yeah.
you're not quite sure. So I don't think you would necessarily be able to find a real life historical surrogate for the Nakadai character. Like
Right.
it's a fictional
Yes.
character, but woven in kind of seamlessly almost
Mhm.
to the backdrop of the Shinsengumi and the
Yeah, yeah.
Bakugan
The
and all
Ninja
that.
Band of Assassins films particularly did
Yes,
that well, right?
yes,
Like,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
sorry,
no.
that's what I meant. Not Sleep Eyes to
Oh,
Death. I
okay.
meant,
Oh, wait,
yeah.
also, yeah, same lead
I
actor.
was
It's
getting my Rizos mixed up.
mixed
Yeah.
up. But yeah, I also quite like the fact that in a way, clearly Ryonosuke or whatever Nakadai's character doesn't actually give a shit at all about the politics. It's
No,
purely about
no. It's
I
an
enjoy murdering
excuse for
people
him
and
to
I
kill
need
people.
money.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Um, I will say actually that the woman who plays the his who kind of becomes his like common law wife in the Ichikawa,
Michio Aratama.
yeah, she's great in this. But actually,
Yes.
the woman who does it in the Ichikawa Riser version is almost even more. She's quite good. She's quite over the
Oh,
top.
really?
When she finally loses her mind, kind of, it's very good. Um,
Also, Hideo Yamamoto again, like you said, to Shirimufune, Kei Sato I mentioned, Kunya Tanaka,
yes.
and of course, Hebi himself,
Hmm.
Nishimura Ko,
Yes.
who's always
Yes.
another one I'm always very pleased to see.
Totally. Yeah.
Like I said, I don't think we'll go into
No, no. This is
no,
just a film that if you haven't seen it, you've made a mistake. You need to go back,
yeah,
relive your life over again, and make sure you see it the next time.
and
Um,
yeah, I also mention it kind of gets a little bit kind of supernatural towards the end as well, isn't it? There's a bit of that
yes,
there.
which the older version leans into even more actually.
Okay,
There's some quite effective ghostly
interesting
going
as well
on.
that yeah, so we should mention it does end like very abruptly, but
Yeah.
it's kind of perfect, right? Because it's like it's a whirl. It's like you realize that this is an unstoppable whirlwind that can only end
Yes.
badly. right? And
Yes,
you
yes.
almost don't need to see it. Or we don't.
No,
You don't need to
no.
know what happens to him. Again, that's a bit of a because apparently they were planning to do sequels. But the thing is,
Right.
even if it's still a perfect ending, regardless, right?
Yes. Yeah.
It's and
No,
clearly people must have thought so. We had trilogies before, and as far as I know, I don't know if there's anything in the animated world, but this is the last time someone's attempted to adapt this for the screen,
the
right?
novel, yeah, which is bizarre because
Well,
it clearly
I
was
suppose
popular.
people must have just thought, well, fuck it, that's
And I
how are
mean,
you going to perfect, how are you going to
that's
improve on
true.
that, right?
It's also worth noting though that like there isn't ever a version that will have an ending
The
because
book
the
doesn't have an
novel,
ending. No.
yeah, because it was a serialized novel in newspapers, and he died. It's a Canterbury Tales. He died before it was finished.
Right.
So
And it's
yeah,
massive, right? Apparently, it's like it goes
yeah.
on for pages. It's like one of the largest books ever written or something at some point.
But reviews I read of it, of the even of the English translation, often mention that it's actually a very good novel. Like it really balances this big collection of characters very well and kind of introduces
Right.
them and always
I was
gives them a
wondering, I was wondering if it
backstory.
has that, because sometimes, even though obviously he's a great writer, sometimes it's difficult to read like Dickens, for example, because it's so even Dostoevsky as well, right? Some of that stuff was serialized and it feels a bit padded out.
Yes.
So I'm wondering if that's the case with Daibusatsu Doge or not.
Yeah,
What
possibly.
do they give it? What's the English title they give it, by the way, that translation? I'm guessing it's not called Daibusatsu Doge.
I don't. It might actually be.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Weirdly enough, yes. But as I said, I'll find it for you tonight, and I'll send you a link to it.
Please do.
Um,
I would very much like to have a run at it. I mean, I don't know if I'll complete it, but if it's good, I suppose I will. But yeah. Okay. Shifting gears down a bit now.
mhm. Ah, yes. Are we heading out of Japan?
We are. We are.
Ah, okay, yes. Let me open up.
It's
So this
today
might
it's me, tomorrow you.
so this
Or
might be the first Nakadai Tatsuya performance I ever saw.
yeah,
I
this might have been
suspect.
me as well, actually. Today we kill, tomorrow you die, because I remember this turning up on late night television when I was like, I don't know, a kid or teenager, I guess.
Okay.
This turned up on HTV in the middle of the night. I remember taping it because you didn't get many, apart from the Dollars trilogy
Yeah.
and when Django or something was on Moviedrome, you didn't really
Hmm.
get much spaghetti westerns on
Spaghetti is
telly.
no.
So I remember seizing on this, and I must have been of a certain age because I think I immediately noticed the Dario Argento screenplay
Writing
credit as
credit.
well. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, yeah, so directed and co-written by Tonino Cervi. Is it Cervi?
Yep.
And Dario Argento script, prior to directing his debut with Crystal Plumage. Actually, there was another film I wanted you to look. So I was looking around at Argento screenwriting credits,
Hmm.
and there's a gangster film he wrote
Okay.
called The Hell Before Death. And I went
Okay.
over to IMDb, and there's
Hmm.
one user review, and the user review is by someone, and this is like 5 years ago or something, and it starts with, I've just finished fan subbing this for Cinemageddon.
Uh-huh.
So
Mhm.
um you need to grab Hell Before Death, I
Yep.
think, for us, Nick, because I couldn't
Okay.
find it.
I got it here. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
son of Ganjamas, who's a great fan subber. Um, who's yeah. Okay, it's right here.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll get it for you
Cool.
for us.
First, yeah.
Uh,
Maybe we'll build a show. Maybe I was thinking, yes. I don't know, Argento screenwriting double or something, or
yeah.
um. But I'd very much anyway. So that led me down. So good. Yeah. Good. Thank you. um. So and yes.
Oh,
So so yeah. So
let's
I'd
not
seen
forget
this
that
a very long time ago, and I
Bud
hadn't seen it
Spencer,
since. Yes.
Bud Spencer without Terence Hill, which is always weird.
And also,
Um,
according to the trivia on the IMDb,
hmm?
the only time he wore a fake beard.
Yeah, it does look weird. It does. He doesn't quite look himself. He almost you could feel like I kept squinting and be like, is that just Paul L. Smith? Because he does look somehow like an off-brand Bud Spencer, even though it is Bud Spencer. Um, but
Yes.
maybe because this film's not particularly knockabout. It's not actually. It's
No,
like
it's very serious. Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
much more
It's a
serious spaghetti western.
revenge. It's a very simple. Yeah, it's a Montgomery Ford, as Brett
Hmm.
Halsey is in this film.
Yes.
Um,
Where's he from? Brett
he's
Halsey.
American, isn't he? I think.
He's American, right?
Yeah.
Now, am I wrong in thinking he like years later showed up in a Fulci movie?
Yes, he's in one of his TV films, movies, isn't he?
Yeah.
No, he's
Yeah.
got an
So
interesting career. He's in, isn't he in like Return of the Fly? Isn't he like the star of Return of the Fly?
okay. Which I
Yeah, no,
just immediately
he's one of
want to
those
say
very interesting, of that era, American expats who went to live the La Dolce Vita
right.
careers, right? He might even have written a book about, is it Brett Halsey? One of those people has written a book about um, that whole period of American
Okay.
actors going to Italy and
Hmm. I'd be interested in reading that.
yeah. Well, I think my guess would be it probably started with people out of necessity who got blacklisted who went to work in Europe, right? And then
Right.
obviously word got back, you know, it's kind of good over here.
Yes.
And then, of course, Clint Eastwood, of course, going over to dollars and stuff like that, kind
Yeah.
of just furthers that notion. Oh, hang on, there might be
Mhm.
something in this.
Oh yeah, you can use it as a career launching
Yeah,
point, also a
yeah.
career
It
dying
wouldn't have
point.
been the dead end. I mean, um, there's good and bad things about it, but that's one of the interesting things
Some
about
ugly
it.
ones as well, Clive.
Huh?
Some ugly ones as well.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Uh,
Um,
go on.
um, that's one of the things in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, isn't it? Is that the Leonardo DiCaprio
Yes.
character is
Yeah.
considering going
He's
over
going to
to,
Italy. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um, actually, where did I read? Oh no, never mind. So yes, so Brett Halsey, sorry, Montgomery Ford,
Hmm.
um, which I was reading as well. There's another bit of a trivia. Apparently, Brett Halsey, one of the reasons he went under the pseudonym is because he wasn't too keen on doing the movie, and then this movie was such a hit. Like I think maybe in Germany or something that he's still known as Montgomery Ford
Montgomery
in
Ford
Germany.
in
No one
Germany,
knows who
right?
Brett Halsey is. But
Um,
yeah,
but
so
he
very
plays
simple.
Bill Kiowa.
Bill
Uh,
Kaiwa, and he's in prison, and he's spent his whole time practicing his draw.
yes, he literally whittled a gun out of like wood or whatever, and he's just using it to
Yes,
yeah, because
reminded
he's
me of that scene in Woody Allen's "Take the Money and Run" when he makes the gun out of soap
oh
and it goes out in
yes.
the rain.
Yeah.
So he gets out of prison, gets a band of brothers around him. Bud Spencer, the one
Uh,
guy I didn't know,
William Berg, the great William Berger, who looks as much like Helmet and what
yes,
the other guy from Blade Runner that I always think he
Rutger
looks like.
Hauer, yeah.
Rutger Hauer, yeah.
Jeff Cameron, and the one guy I wasn't that familiar with, Wayden Preston, but he did do some spaghetti westerns. He was a.
Mhm.
It's funny. There's a few of these actors, isn't there, who otherwise didn't do anything, but they were in like half a dozen spaghetti
Mhm.
westerns, and were popular enough that you could put their fake name on the poster, and
And people would
yeah. But
posters
this
would
guy,
show
Wayden
up.
Preston, as far as I could tell, he was one of the because a lot of the other ones, like Jeff Cameron or Nate, take your pick. They seem to have like had a minor kind of they did a peplum or two, and
Mhm.
then they did the westerns, right?
Yeah.
Like, which is always interesting. But I don't think this guy did. I think he just made a few westerns. I didn't know him,
Yeah, no.
and he doesn't really make a huge impression. He's fine, but yeah. And the big villain of the piece,
Yes.
Nakadai
Yeah.
Tatsuya. Yes, Nakadai Tetsuya himself playing a Mexican Ren Hoik.
Yes. James El Fago.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. Yeah, and doing, I mean, like, so something one should know about Nakadai Tatsuya is he's a man who uses his eyes very well,
He
right?
does.
But in this one, it's over the top. Like, it's like he's constantly got these like
Yeah,
terrifyingly like huge
I kept
eyes.
accepting to go, Montgomery Ford, you idiot! Like,
Yeah, no, I
yeah,
mean, it is. I think I sent you a message at one point while I was watching it to say, like, yeah, it's really throwing me how much like Peter Lorre he seemed, and then I
right.
find no, it's not Peter Lorre, it's Ren, who of
Yeah,
course is famously a mashup of Peter Lorre and a
yeah.
Mexican accent.
What's interesting
Um,
as well, so apparently he did speak no English or Italian, right? So apparently everything was done through like a translator. And the
right.
other thing that surprised me, considering the chambra of it all, and he didn't
Mhm.
know how to ride a horse.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah,
Okay, that's weird.
yeah.
Yeah,
He
you
needed
would.
a lot of help, but he'd fall off his horse. And then turns out later on when we get to Kagemusha, there's like a famous thing where he fell off a horse. So I don't know
Oh,
how much of a what's the word?
equestrian.
Equestrian
Yes,
Nakadai
yeah.
was.
Um,
Maybe he went to
although,
see that play Equus and laughed his ass off at the end.
um, but I think it's also kind of funny, for most of the film, obviously he's playing he's got like he's standard Mexican bandito gun, and then for some reason at the very end he whips out a sword. Like they were like, well, we've
Yeah,
got Nakadai Tatsuya, we gotta put a sword in his hand. Oh, it's kind of a machete looking
yeah,
thing, I
yeah.
guess.
So coming back to this one, I mean, I remember this one being a kind of not one of the great, but a slightly above average spaghetti
Yep.
western. Now I think yes, probably above average because there were so many rubbishy ones,
Yes,
but
but not very
it's
above average.
it's
Yeah,
no,
it's not brilliant.
it's
I,
all
I'll say
right.
I'll
Yeah.
say the thing that actually disappoints me most about every version of this I've seen since I first saw it. I first saw it on VHS, like an actual proper rental tape.
Mm.
That version of it, for whatever reason, all the flashback scenes, and so there's quite a brutal
Like a
trigger
rape
alert
and a
for people.
murder.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is right.
there's,
Yeah.
there's quite an awful rape
Done
murder
by good old Tatsuya himself.
Nakadai. Yeah, very intense and creepy. But all of those scenes were tinted green in the
Oh,
version that I saw
interesting.
the first time. And it's really arresting to see that version of the film where those scenes are all the flashbacks are in green rather than black and white, right? Um, and ever since I've seen it since then, I've always been waiting for them to be because it just
Ah,
added this whole extra element of weird and disconcerting to those flashbacks.
I
That's
don't
and I don't know why
remember.
I don't know why that VHS had
Yeah,
why that
I
VHS
don't remember
version, but
when it was broadcast in the UK on TV. I don't remember if that was the case or not.
yeah, but
So the other
that's
thing
the
that I realized, so I was quite interested. I mean, how how big would Nakadai Tatsuya have been in Europe in 1968 for them to choose him? Because he even gets the and con
yeah,
Tatsuya
yeah.
Nakadai credit, right? Because
Well,
from what I understand, Sword of Doom was a flop in Japan, but it did quite well in art houses
yes,
abroad,
it
right?
did. Yes, apparently it was very big, and actually it was very big in Italy, I heard.
So
Um,
is that what it is, do you think,
I
maybe?
wonder. Yeah, I'm going to just let's just take a quick look at his filmography just in the run up to that. I guess the other thing, he's massively prolific at this time. Um,
Yeah. Well,
you
the
know,
other thing as well, I was wondering, this is the other interesting thing, was how much of a bigger hit this film was because so I was misremembering as well because I was thinking, oh, hang on, didn't Nakadai Tetsuo do two spaghetti westerns? I thought, and what I was confusing it with was the year after this, from another Dario Argento script,
okay.
there's Five Man Army,
Oh yes,
which I've
yes.
never actually seen, and that's got your
I
man.
got Bud Spencer in it as well. Am I right?
I
Or
can't
no?
remember, but it's got Tetsuya Tamba in it.
Oh yes, yes,
But not
yes.
as a villain, one of the five.
No, he's
And
one of the
again, it's
five-man army.
interesting. Oh,
Yes.
this has 5 men, that has 5 men army, and it has a Japanese. So
Mhm.
I'm wondering, is 5 man army like, was Today It's Me, Tomorrow You enough of a minor local hit in Italy that they copied it
Possibly.
again?
Yep. Yep. You
That's
could be.
fascinating. Whenever you find out about there's a lot of this in when you go deep into pink films, actually. You find like films which you don't think of them that content, but in that small world, there are films that are like enough of a hit that they inspire, endless
Yes.
copies, which you
Yeah.
don't see from like the macro level. You have to
Mhm.
get really deep into it to figure out that you have such a thing as like hits, but in that world, like and
Yes.
kind of weirdly, disturbingly, yeah, there was a when would like in the 80s or into the 90s or something, like weirdly enough, like apparently whenever they put in like a bit of bestiality into a pink film, for some reason the audience would always speak. So they started doing like throwing in
Mm-hmm.
some more dog and horse films here and there. Because for some reason a certain demographic would always turn out for those.
Which sure, definitely,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, be a surefire. But I'm thinking, like, looking at this period of Nakadai's career, he's doing 5, 6 movies a year, right?
Yeah. Well, he was always, I mean, he was pretty busy to the end. I mean, right up until his death, he
Yes,
was still in a lot of movies. We didn't cover the back end so much because, well, there's not a lot of those movies that necessarily like he's in the only bad Zatoichi film, right? The one with what's his face from Smap in
yes, yes,
Zatoichi the Last or whatever.
yes, yes.
Nakadachusa is in
Although
that, and
he's
he's very
fine,
good. He's
he's
very good.
fine. Yeah, he
Yeah,
as always he's fine. But yes, the film
but
is
that is the
crap.
only Zatoichi film not worth watching.
Worth seeing. Yes, yeah.
Even watch every episode of the TV
Oh, the TV
series
series. Yeah,
before that. Yeah.
absolutely. Um, Yeah, he also, well, you haven't mentioned this, but I'll always every chance to bring it up. He so while watching Sword of Doom, actually, I was really thinking, oh, you know what? Actually, Nakadai he's so manly, right? Like he
Mm.
actually would have been really good as Ogami Ito. I think he would have done a great job playing Lone Wolf.
Yeah,
Because
maybe.
look, he looks more like the comic book character. There's only really been ever one actor who's been cast in the role who actually looks fully like the comic book character, and that is the guy who was in the TV movie.
Ah,
Uh,
right. Yeah. Yeah, if you're
uh,
going by the comic, yeah, I think it just the films are so iconic though that we tend to think of Agamito as huskier, right?
yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Um, and no disrespect at all. I mean, to me, Wakayama Tomisaburo always will be the
Oh yeah,
cinema's version of,
yeah.
but when I'm watching him in that
Even
in
if he
that
does look like he's ate a few too many pies.
yes. Whereas that last really savage fight in Sword of Doom, I thought like, oh yeah, this he would have been a pretty great Ogami Ito, but he didn't play Ogami Ito, but he did play Yagyu Retsudo
Right,
in the much later, slightly revisionist Lone Wolf and Cub film, A Handful of Sand from the 90s,
right. With
and he is
Hachi. Yeah.
brilliant.
Okay.
Nakadai Tatsuya's performance as Yagyu Retsudo yeah, I mean, again, I don't know how many times I can say the man's fucking genius, but
Right.
that one elicits full tears from me, his performance. Like I'm weeping at the end of that film by how
Mm.
masterful.
So that's good then, is it?
I like it. I mean, if you're, your mileage will vary. I'm a huge fan, as has come up
Right.
many times. And once you get over the kind of slightly emo version, and he's quite a slim actor. I can't remember his name, but he also played Shikawa Azo's Nemuri Kyoshiro around the same time. He was in a bunch
Right.
of sort of. Um, Once you get over the fact that he's playing a much more emotional version of Lone Wolf, which is true to an element of the comics. Yeah, I think it's really good, and I really think it really, really distills the sadness of the story
Mm.
because there is a great thread of sadness running through the entire thing. Um, and I think it's a very legit take on the source material.
Yeah, so
Anyway.
it's all right. Today it's me, tomorrow you. It's okay.
Yeah. You don't need to put it to the top of it's more
No,
like
but if you're a
it's more the
Nakadai Tatsuya fan,
novelty.
you should definitely check it out.
Yeah, it's the
It's
novelty of
fun.
seeing him playing a Mexican
It's
in
fun.
a
It's fun to
spaghetti
see him in a
western.
different environment,
Yeah.
for sure. Because he didn't really do that
And he's having fun. He's
much.
chewing the scenery.
Yeah,
I think he's
yeah.
probably turning in the most fun performance in the whole film.
And he didn't do that much globe trotting, I don't think, did he, cinematically?
No, no, it's
Oh.
funny that he
Like I said,
didn't.
there's Wicked City, there's the Hong Kong of it
Yeah,
when he was older. But
Mifune got around a lot more than
yeah,
Nakadai.
yeah. Okay, onwards we go to. So I'm quite interested because for some reason something about this next film angered you, and while I was
Yeah.
watching it, I thought it would jump out at me like, oh, that's why he's swearing at his TV. But I have to admit, it didn't occur to
Okay,
me. So
good.
I'm quite interested by. So we're talking about Safari 5000
Hmm.
from 1969, not to be confused with Safari 3000. Um,
So I'll tell you, just to get to start, I think the reason why this film frustrated me more than anything else is that you accidentally sold it very uh
Well, I sold you a false bill of goods,
yes,
but
because
by mistake, because I
no.
was just looking around. I'd never seen it before,
Mhm,
and I was just looking around for interesting offbeat Nakadai Tetsuya things. And then I
mhm.
looked at this, and Nakadai Tetsuya's, he's billed really high.
Yes,
He's
yes.
billed really high. So
But it's
I
it's a
assumed,
stunt,
oh,
but it's almost a stunt cameo
yes, and I thought,
alongside
oh,
of
he's going to
Mifune's.
be one of the drivers, and I thought, oh,
Yeah.
that's going to be cool to see Safari,
Hmm.
Paris to Dakar style, where's it? East Africa, actually, isn't it? It's the
Hmm.
Safari East African rally cross country film with Nakadai Tatsuya. I thought
So
that's
when you said
yeah,
it's going to be like Cannonball Run with Nakadai
with
Tatsuya,
Nakadai Tatsuya, yeah.
I was all in to
So
see
was
Cannonball
I,
Run,
yeah.
And then I'm just thinking like who else should be in the Japanese Cannonball Run? And I'm just thinking of all of those actors we've already talked about, those
Well,
great
clearly, as we
faces.
know from the Cannonball Run films, it should be Jackie Chan,
And yes, of
which
course.
amazing. I happened to rewatch the first Cannonball Run not that long. It's really bad. Like I was
Mm.
surprised how shocked. Mostly the Dom DeLuise and Burt
Eloise.
Reynolds of it all is just shockingly poorly unfunny. But what's
Is
amazing,
Roger Moore in the original one, or does he show up in one of the
I
later
can't
ones?
remember now.
Okay.
I've blocked it out. But
Okay.
what's really surprising to me is Jack Chan is in it, right? As the
Mhm.
head of the, is it the Mitsubishi or so,
Yes.
so it's
Team or
team,
whatever,
right?
yeah.
Now that's not surprising in and of itself. Jackie would have been not big in America yet, but he was already huge in Japan, right? All across
Yeah.
Asia. So I understand that they wouldn't have minded having Jackie Chan representing the Japanese team. But what's
Hmm.
most surprising is so ignorant were they in America of the differences between Asian countries. Jackie Chan plays a Japanese character and he just speaks Cantonese.
Yeah. Yes.
It's amazing
Uh,
how times have changed. Like now, even like just no one, like your average layman who's not interested in,
yeah.
would recognize that doesn't sound like Japanese to me,
It's yeah.
you know. But the fact, like in 1980, really, that's amazing to me.
Yeah.
And there was Cannonball was still a massive hit in Japan. No one seemed to give a shit. That's fine, never mind. But
Hmm.
yeah, so
But
that's
this,
what you
but
get.
that, but
Yeah.
but anyway, but this is resolutely not what this thing is. So this is actually a ripoff of Grand Prix, right?
Yes. Yes.
Which is a very
I'm guessing what
different kind of
happened
film.
was John Frankenheimer and his crew invented all that kind of extraordinary way of filming because they had cameras on the mounted on
Right.
the cars and no one had ever done. Because John Frankenheimer, of course, is a famously a racing car enthusiast, right? Like he loves, as well
Right.
as directing. That used to, it's funny, it's not there now. That used so on. It's called something like the American Television Archive Project or something like that, and they interviewed a lot of film directors who started off in live television in the 50s, like in New York,
Hmm.
at length for this project, and they used to be up on YouTube, and I can't find them now. There's like they did Sidney Lumet, and one of the people they interviewed was John Frankenheimer, and
Okay.
it's hours long, it's 5, 6 hours long, and John Frankenheimer talking about directing early live television in the 50s. Fucking fascinating, like really, really interesting.
Hmm.
Anyway,
Cool.
so he's also into character. So he does, and I think he must have they must have figured out how to film this for the first time. And the people who made Safari 5000 very soon after, like a year after or something,
Yeah.
like, give us some of that. We
Yes.
want some of that because clearly they're using because some of the racing footage is extraordinary.
Well, so my mea culpa is I initially reached out when I was probably halfway through. So this film's running time is like Godfather length. It's
It's 175 minutes, yeah.
3 hours long, basically, right?
You could race around East Africa in the time it takes to
Yeah,
use this.
to watch this film. And I will unpack a bit later on what some of my problems with this film are.
Right.
Um, but I will say that my rage at the midpoint was tempered by I did quite enjoy the last hour of the film.
Mm,
The ones they kind of get to Africa and the extended rallying scenes in Africa were
right.
pretty cool. They were
Right.
well shot. They were exciting to watch. But it didn't quite make up for overall. Uh,
The melodrama.
the melodrama was a big thing. The female characters and their role in the film and their role in like was so depressingly like yeah, like Jesus. The
They
scenes of
just
just them
they don't give him
crying
much
and
to do, right?
crying and knitting while listening to the radio of their men.
Yes.
um yeah. And then the fact that Tatsuya Nakadai and Mifune were basically just glorified cameos, and the
Yeah.
film is led by one of my least favorite Japanese actors. And I've never understood why Japanese people loved
Ishihara
Ishihara
Yujiro.
Yujiro. Not at all. I mean, the whole Sun Tribes thing always seemed like bullshit to me to begin with, and that spate of like,
Oh,
movies
Crazed
did.
Fruit, the first one's a good film.
I never got along with
You
he
just
just
don't
seems
like rich people.
it just yes, I don't. That's very true. And he just seemed like I don't know. It's not like I don't like guys with round faces. I mean, Katsu Shintaro is one of my favorite actors ever,
Shido
but
Joe. I know what you mean. Shishido Joe is like the better version of Ishihara Yujiro.
yes,
Yes, yes.
yes,
But
yeah.
I know what you mean. He's got that chipmunk look, and he is difficult to take seriously as a racing driver somehow. And I think also, so
He's just
it's
boring to me. The fucker just always seems boring. Whatever I see him in, I just don't
he's
get what his
he's better
charisma
in
or
the
his
50s.
appeal
He's
was.
better in the 50s and 60s when he was younger, and as well, I get it because he was famous for being tall and having long legs, right? So
Right.
he brought the female. He's not for us, Nick.
Right. But I don't see what the appeal to women was for
It's
him
the long
either, I
legs.
guess.
It's the long legs.
Okay.
And
Hmm.
when those films hit out, that whole Sun Tribe stuff as well, that was very much aspirational for a lot of Japanese people, right, who didn't have that lifestyle. Like they wanted to
Right.
go and hang out at the Zushi and Hayama, and
Hmm.
plus I think our thing is colored a little bit. So it's him and it's his brother, right, Shotaro, the writer turned racist governor of Tokyo. So we
Politician.
tend
Yes.
to think of them in the
Yes.
same kind of vein.
Yes. And
So
that is definitely in my
yeah.
brain too.
So I know what you mean. I'm not like, oh, great, Ishihara. I can't wait to see this either. But I'll give him a bit more credit, I think, in the context. Plus, I haven't seen a lot of his 50s and 60s. I've seen some of them, and no, you can kind of see it. You can kind of, in the same way as I think it's very difficult for us now we don't really get James Dean and Marlon Brando in the way that
I
people did.
get Brando more than Dean. I never, yeah, I
No,
definitely see you with Dean. I don't quite get what the appeal was with
right,
him.
right.
With Brando, I can still see it. When I see
Yeah.
an old Brando performance, I'm like, no, I get why
Right.
this
But you
was.
know what I mean? I think it's
Yes,
slightly comparable, maybe.
right.
Yeah.
I'll tell
But
you who I do
anyway,
like. I like Ruriko
oh
Asaka.
man.
So, because
Fucking
I had
hell.
just watched her, I was simultaneously watching her in two movies at the same time, and it took me a few minutes to realize, oh, she's the lead in the Wang Yu Nikatsu
Right.
uh,
Asia
spy
Paul.
film, Asia
Yeah.
Paul, right? And then I was like, oh shit, she's also the lead, and she's a great actor.
She is
She's
good, but also, let's be honest, she's smoking.
yeah,
Fucking
yeah,
hell.
yeah. She's
Jesus
very
Christ.
beautiful lady, yes, for sure.
Um, yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I'm sure we'll have me, you, and Darren will have a mutual
Yes,
circle jerk when we get
yes,
paid to pull for the Shaw show. The same
definitely.
year as well. I didn't realize. I really want to see it. Just kind of realizing, wow, how what a fucking smokehouse she is. The
Hmm.
same year as this, she's in a film called Vixen, which is Masumuro
Okay,
Yasuzo, and she plays like kind of a femme fatale at the same
okay.
year as this. So I'm thinking
Hmm.
I need to put that higher up the list, I think.
And who does you? I just realized now, looking at the credit list here, that once again, Juzo Atami is in this. Um, I'm wondering who the hell
Yes, I
who is
think
he?
he's
I can't
is
remember
he the
who he played.
he's on the Pit crew, isn't he? I think
Oh, okay, right.
he's the like the one you see most of after Nakadai Tetsuya, the one who always turns up to help.
Oh, yes, to help them, yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then the other question I had is like Jean-Claude Rouault,
yeah.
who plays our French rally
French
driver.
driver, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, he looked like he should have been drawn into like the Valerian and the like.
Yeah, he does a bit, doesn't he?
He
Yeah,
looked
yeah.
totally like a French like comic book character come to life. But then I was like, well, was he in something that was really big? Like why? And then I
I
looked
don't
up
know,
his,
but he's in a lot of stuff, isn't he?
he is, but nothing that kind of made sense to me as to why
No, but he's good.
he
He's
would have been cast in this.
Emmanuel Riva as well, who yeah, him and Ruriko like yeah, basically mope about much of the but they're both proper performers. Emmanuel Riva, of course, in recent times, she didn't she win? Was it the Oscar or something for not Oscar or Cannes or something for Amour, right? The Michael Haneke film. That was like a
Oh,
later in life role that she
okay.
starring role that she won lots of accolades for. Um,
Hmm.
the other
So,
guy who's really
wait,
good,
sorry, I have a question for you, Clyde, before we go any
yeah.
further. Because apparently, this French fellow was also in a film, 1968's Mr. Freedom, which I looked up and looks to me quite potentially interesting. Playing a
Okay,
character
I don't think
Dick
I know Mr. Freedom. No.
Dick Sensas. Mr. Freedom is an all-American superhero that destroys everyone who even remotely disagrees with imperialism. The,
Oh,
yeah, basically it's a super right-wing pro-American superhero who fights for
I'm
God,
guessing it's a
country
satire, is it?
by beating, robbing, raping, and killing anyone who looks like they might disagree with him. When he hears that France is in danger of falling to the commies, Mr. Freedom heads overseas to set things right.
Who
Uh,
directed that?
good question. Let me go back. Anyway, William Klein.
Oh, okay, okay.
Donald Pleasance is in it as well.
Yes, yes. Yes, I think it is pretty much a satire. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. No,
Oh yeah,
I'd
it
be
looks
interested
like
to
it
see
has
that.
to be.
Is
But
is
yeah.
isn't the poster like him in like an American football with the gridiron?
Yes,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've often
Anyway,
wanted to see that. Yeah, yeah.
so that might be something we might want to kick down the road and
Yeah, yeah. No,
and
I think that turned up. I think I read about that in an issue of Shock Cinema or something like that. I think. Um,
okay. But anyway,
the other
back to
person
sorry. Go.
the other person who's very good in this, and surprisingly isn't even listed over at the IMDb. Alan Cooney
Hmm.
plays Jacques Chabrol, the Wizard of Fashion, right?
Oh yes, yes,
Because he's has a lot. He's always he's like really intense, isn't he? Like
yes.
whenever he's in Ruriko's face, Ruriko, like you don't understand why she doesn't just leave with him, right? Because he's quite
Well, no.
smolderingly intense, isn't he?
He is, and he clearly makes her an integral part of his like when she's with him,
Yes,
you see her in photographs of
he has
like doing
agency.
work with it. Yes,
Yeah,
yeah, she has a job to do rather than
yeah,
sit there and knit and weep
yeah.
over her rally driving. So the
You
the
know,
one other thing I will say is, as a child
that's why
growing
you
up,
don't get to Shiharase. He knows how to treat them mean, keep them keen, and you're
hmm,
just not into that.
no, I don't get
But
it.
Cooney as well. The reason most people will remember him, I think, he's in loads of things, but he
Mhm.
was in the original Emmanuel, right? He was, I think he
Okay,
played Sylvia Kristel's husband, right? So,
right.
but he's like just Yeah, I like him a great deal. He's
Yeah, no,
very
you're right.
intense. Yeah.
His performance is good. The other thing is, so my dad used to rally drive.
Oh,
Um,
wow,
so my
another massive difference between you and your dad.
yeah, so my all my uncles, right?
And you used to sit around knitting and listen to the
Yeah,
knitting.
crying, yes, hoping he would come back. Yeah, so my dad had a Mini when we were kids that had like a number, I don't know what the fuck number, but some big number painted on the roof and on the doors. And he used to rally drive around in the Irish mountains. I used to
Oh, was this one of those ones where you'd have the engine in the trunk?
possibly, yeah, might well have been. Um, so. And then I used to also go and watch my uncles do Formula 4 in Dublin, like growing up. A couple of my uncles used to race Formula 4 cars. Um,
Okay. It's funny,
and
my childhood thing with uh racing wasn't for rally drivers. One of my older brother's friends was a rally driver.
Mhm.
And I don't know if this still happens, and maybe it still does, but it's fascinating because I remember going when I was a kid to see a few times, like just on country roads, they would have, rallies, they'd have
Yeah, yeah,
people.
yeah. As I said, this is
Yeah,
what my dad was doing in
yeah.
Ireland. Yeah,
And you'd have people on the side of the road
yeah, yeah.
watching,
So
and there'd be
those scenes in
crashes and
the those
tumbles and
scenes in the movie were some of the most harrowing scenes,
yeah,
actually,
yeah.
with the big crowds of people just like really, especially in the Africa scenes, standing in the road as these cars are suddenly coming around the corner.
Here's a deep cut, as the kids say. Do you
Mhm.
remember I don't even know if they were official or if they were like semi bootleg or something. Do you remember the series of Havoc videos?
Vaguely, I remember the name. I remember,
Yeah,
yeah,
and they were all basically compilations of rally
rally
crashes
crashes.
and stuff.
Yes, yes. Pretty sure my
I used to
dad used
fucking
to watch
love
those.
them when I was
I'm
a
pretty
kid
sure my
too.
dad used to watch those as well, which is
Yeah,
just
and they seemed like you wouldn't find them like in a video. They seemed like they'd be passed around or something, like
yes.
almost like underground tape trading
Faces of Death and your Havoc.
and Havoc.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, so yeah, so overall, I will say by the end of the film, it had kind of won somehow ground me down or won me over, or the film itself. By the end of it, you felt like those endless scenes in the last hour of just like Ishihara eating a sandwich, like sweating through his clothes, driving, them literally having to like step over each other inside the car in order for the one driver to take over the other.
Right.
That shit was all good, you
Yeah, no,
know.
no, it is fascinating to see that footage, I think, and I do like me some long distance racing cinema.
Hmm.
There's something about it, and yeah, they do the stuff that they basically they go Nairobi to come back to Nairobi again, right? And I'm assuming it's based
Hmm.
on a proper. Do they still do Paris to Dakar?
Don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. I
Um,
will say there is an actor who kind of redeems himself because at the beginning of the film he's given the terribly unflattering job of like it's whoever like his black rally partner is, right?
oh, he's called like Jama or something, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Kinara is the actor's name. I don't think he's in anything else, I know.
Yeah. In the early scene where Godo, or I think is his name, or basically
Godai.
Ishihara Godai, sorry, yeah, Godai. His he is in a terrible crash somewhere in like Europe, right?
Mm.
And gets like all these stitches. And there's a scene where this poor black actress will run up and like weepingly beat at the door and fall down prostrate. And you're like, Jesus
It's
Christ.
it's a
Give
little yeah, it's a
give the
little
man some
colonial, isn't
dignity
it?
for
Yeah,
fuck's sakes.
yeah,
But later on, I will say, when he shows up again, I'm like, oh God, this poor guy's back.
yeah.
But
To be
at
fair, that
least,
also doesn't help that he's not a very good actor, right?
no, he's not at
No.
all. But at
Um,
least in the last hour of the film, he's kind of allowed to redeem some dignity.
right.
And
Apparently,
yeah.
this is based on a book as well by someone called Gozo Kasahara. What
Well,
was interesting?
apparently it's based on a real like Nissan story of
Oh,
this
okay.
actor. And yeah,
Yeah, because
apparently
Nissan, of
it
course,
is.
did back the film as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
apparently it's a fictionalized version of that real
right.
race.
The thing
Yeah.
that interested me about it as well is the director, this guy Koreyoshi Kurahara, who I saw. He's interesting. His career goes back to the 50s. I don't think I've seen any of his early films in the 50s, but in the early 60s, he made a couple of terrific films. A little bit actually, oddly enough, we were talking about the tradition of noir continuing. He
Hmm.
made a couple of films. One's called The Warped Ones,
Okay.
and the other one is called Black Sun, which I think, forgive me if I'm mixing up my African Americans in Japan at the time, but I think might co-star your man from Genocide.
Okay.
Um, and both the Warped Ones and Black, especially the Warped Ones, actually are terrific. Like, um, just breakneck kind of um thriller youth thrillers with just fantastic crime jazz soundtracks and just black and white photography and just cameras on the streets of Tokyo in the
Yeah,
early
I
60s.
might have seen Warped Ones before. I've
Warped
that it
Ones is fucking
sounds
good.
very, yeah, the title sounds very familiar. Um,
Black Sun is also pretty good.
okay.
But I know him from the and yeah, later he obviously, donned on kind of got more response and did these big movies, and then he went on to make that movie Antarctica with Takakura Ken in the 80s, and so his films just got bigger and bigger and bigger.
Hmm.
And this is clearly on that journey, right? He was, given the job of doing, because I would imagine you've got a production of this kind of heft and size. You want a safe pair of hands, right? But
Yes.
but
Yeah.
you can still see him tapping a little bit into that energy of the earlier films with like you said, the rally scenes are really good. They put their cameras in interesting places and they capture it. And also they do a good job, I thought, with the Formula One stuff of you have the Formula One footage, which is very exciting and cameras
Mhm.
mounted and stuff. But they do a really good job. They've clearly shot inserts as well, right?
Mhm.
And but it's all done fairly
Pretty
seamlessly, right? So
seamlessly. Yeah. Yeah.
it's all quite exciting, and so it's an odd one. It's 3 hours long, and there's too much hanky ringing from
Yep.
wasted actresses.
Yep.
Um,
Yep. And about 5 minutes, if you're lucky, of Nakadai Tatsuya, which is really the reason I'm
with his
watching this.
prosthetic finger thing,
Weird and
guards,
it's
yeah,
yeah. I mean,
he's always got a bit of a smirk on his
a
face.
weird smile,
I'm
the weird
wondering,
eyes.
I'd love to know what's going on in his head. What's the backstory he's given himself, right?
As I said, when he first showed up, I thought for a moment, oh, this is brilliant. This is going to be like when Timothy Carey shows up in The Killing, right? Like, yeah,
Yes.
that's energy of like, I'm gonna fucking blow everyone else off the cat, like
No,
off the
it's
camera right
kind of
now.
reserved, isn't it? But immediately, the first time you see him, he's got this. He's
Yeah,
just kind of,
and
yeah,
you got the weird hand thing.
yeah,
Yeah, it's very
yeah.
strange. But
He has
yes,
a bit more to do than Mifune Toshiro does, to be fair.
he's just like sitting in a boardroom the entire.
Yeah,
Anything, pick up the phone every now and again. He might as well be in a different film. But
but no,
yeah, a
I
bit of a
mean,
bummer to end. I feel like a slight bummer to end our Nakadai Tatsuya rest in
oh,
peace show on
the
this film.
the other thing
But
as well, because it's always a thing we've talked about this before, but there's always some fascinating weird culture clash thing whenever you've got a bunch of foreign
oh
actors
yeah.
in a Japanese production or whatever. And I think
Yes.
the peak of this is what I didn't know, Nick, and I'm sure it's true because it's in this
Mhm.
film, is when a bunch of foreigners, rally drivers, get together and get smashed. They
Mhm.
all sing "You Are My Sunshine."
Ah, yes, yes, I do.
That
Yes,
that struck me as, huh?
very weird. Was
It's
it the
it's
only song that everyone knew the words to or something? Like it
it
was, yeah.
it reminded me of that scene in the Drifting Classroom. Oh, a few scenes actually. Have you seen Drifting Classroom?
No.
Which is set in like an international, very weird film. Me and Ron did it on the show, and we had one of the people who were in it actually.
Mhm.
We interviewed Dennis Fault, a friend of mine, and very weird film. You would really enjoy Drifting Classroom, based on a Umezu Kazuo comic.
Yes.
But the thing about that is that for some reason, all the foreign characters, American
Mm-hmm.
characters in that film, often just suddenly launch into singing Camptown Races, sing this song, duda, duda.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yes, incredibly authentic, just like You Are My Sunshine, and yeah.
Yes. Yes. Um, but anyway, I think to sum up, this is not the place to start your appreciation for Nakadai Tatsuya.
No,
Um,
but if
but
you like long distance rallies,
yeah,
and you like Rurika Asaoka, as I think we all do.
Yes. Oh yeah, yeah. And just
Um,
and just weird international co-productions that,
yes, which again
yeah,
I think we all do. If you're watching
we all do.
this, you probably do.
We
Yeah.
probably like those, yeah.
I mean, I
Um
don't know who's got this far into this podcast at this point, to be honest. I think we're probably talking to ourselves at this point, but
yes.
we like that stuff. So yeah,
Yes. But certainly, yeah. Most of the films you want, and if you're gonna, any big takeaways from this would be you need to watch Sword of Doom ASAP, Age of
yeah.
Assassins you need to watch. Um,
So, well, hang on. You didn't get to Kagemusha, right?
no, I didn't. Oh, yes, right. Sorry, we do have one more.
Well, I'll do
Yes.
this very quickly, seeing as
Okay.
you didn't see it as well. And plus, it's slightly, I mean, hot take. This Kurosawa film is great. I mean,
Uh-huh.
have you seen it before?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, you should watch it. So basically,
Okay.
it's Nakada Tatsuya playing Takeda Shingen, right? And also, so that, again, we were talking about the Sword of Doom, how it takes like a real historical background, and of course, it's all the Kurosawa people, so it's amazingly authentic.
Yeah.
But he plays like a double, right? A double
Right.
for Takeda Shingen,
Mhm.
who has to take over when Takeda Shingen actually dies, And yeah,
Mhm.
not spoiler alert, historical research alert, I guess.
Mhm.
It's it's bullshit. It never happened, right?
Right.
Takeda Shingen did not have a double who took over after
Right.
he. It's all totally
So
fictional.
that was Saddam Hussein, I believe.
Yes, and there is a film about that as well, which I went to see in the
Yes.
theater, The Devil's Double, which is actually
Mhm.
kind of quite good. It reminded me a bit of a like a Brian De Palma film or something.
Right.
But yes, so I mean, yeah, Nakadai Tatsuya is fantastic in it.
Yes.
Everything about it is amazing. Um, Make sure you watch the whole 180-minute because there was a slightly shorter version, international cut, and they got Francis Ford Coppola and George Lucas actually managed. So something we should actually
Oh,
thank George Lucas for.
right.
They actually managed to get it made, right? Because he
Yes, I
couldn't get.
forgot about that. Yes.
This is amazing to me, right? Kurosawa, like, there's two things that amaze me about this, right? Number one, Kagemusha is just a fucking gorgeous, amazing, epic. The color photography is incredible. Everything's brilliant. It's a Kurosawa film, right?
Mhm.
Only Kurosawa would be would make this as a dry run for another film, right? So basically, the
Right.
story goes: this is the dry run for Ran, right?
Right.
Again, starring Nakadai Tatsuya being fucking amazing, but
Hmm.
and I assume you've seen Ran, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and which is just, I mean, just fucking amazing, right?
Mhm.
And only Kurosawa would make an epic like this as like a sketch for an
Hmm.
even bigger epic.
Right.
It was like,
Hmm.
wow. The other thing that amazes me about Ran, 1985 or 1986, whenever the year after, the Japanese awards their version of the Oscars, right?
Right.
Ran, Ran nominated for nothing.
Hmm.
Nothing.
Yes. And what did win that year? I'd be interested to know.
Something starring an idol or something.
Yep.
Um, how is that even possible? That's just insanity.
So something else that's worth mentioning about Kagemusha, this is the thing that I always remember about it, is that this is the film that Nakara Tatsuya wasn't supposed to play the lead.
No.
Katsu Shintaro
Yes.
was cast and fucking fired on day one of filming.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
He did not get on because he just tried to take over,
Take over,
basically.
yeah, yes.
Yeah.
And at this point, he was kind of a director in his own right, and yeah, he had brought his own camera people and shit with him, and
Yes.
Kurosawa was
Yes.
like, yeah,
Yeah, this
there's the
isn't going to
door.
work. Yeah, so Kagemusha, as if you needed to be told, is just extraordinary. I mean, Ran is even more extraordinary, but at this point, you're just talking levels of extraordinary. I mean, how many? There's a reason Kurosawa's up there, right? Like, how many just astonishing films did he make? It's kind of remarkable, really. He may have the
Yes,
highest hit rate. I don't know, other than Jess Franco, of course.
yes.
So the other interesting credit, and I was wondering if you'd ever seen this film, and then I'll promise to shut up. So the same year as Kagemusha, so Kagemusha was co-written by Masato Ide. The same year as this, Masato Ide also provided the script for another film, and I'm wondering if have you ever seen Writhing Tongue?
Nope.
You ever heard of this film?
Nope.
Okay, so Writhing Tongue is don't eat any of your funny sweets before watching it.
Okay. Yeah. Good. Good. Thank you.
Because Writhing Tongue is an incredibly intense film about a little girl who contracts tetanus.
Okay.
And it is grueling. It is just one of the most intense films I think I've ever seen in my life. Me and my
Wow.
wife watched it and we were just like wiped out by it.
Jeez.
Yes, and yeah, I some of the bits with the little girl, like, yeah, I don't know how they possibly could have, not to throw shade, but I'm not sure quite how they could have filmed some of that stuff without
Without
traumatizing.
traumatizing the child.
You know,
Yeah.
it's akin to that Fatal Termination film with the little girl
Hmm.
hanging out the corner of the window of the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but Writhing Tongue is, yeah, if you're up for a grueling watch,
Hmm.
this Christmas, gather the family around.
Oh, yes, yes.
Maybe a Boxing Day. You don't have to do a Christmas Day. Boxing Day, Writhing Tongue. Yeah, see how
Well,
you
I've
get
often
on.
heard it said. I mean, Die Hard, Home Alone, Rising Tongue. Those are
Yeah,
your go-to Christmas films,
yes.
right?
No, it is. Yeah, watch
Okay.
it. Let me
All
know how you
right.
get on with it. So anyway,
Okay.
winding up. Yeah, so that Nakadai Tatsuya, he's pretty good, eh? He may amount to something if he
That
sticks
that
at it.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. If he does a little more work,
yeah.
yeah, he'll
We
he'll
like to
have something.
champion rising stars on this show.
Yes. Um, yeah, and seems to have worked like right up until the very near the very end. Like
Yeah,
he never stopped
I'm
working.
wondering if there might be a few posthumous releases, maybe.
Mhm. Um, but just I think just the breadth of what the guy could do, the fact that the guy could do, you know, films like The Human Condition, I mean,
Right?
he's in one of the earlier Hachiko films, right? About
Oh,
that
is he?
dog. Yeah.
And he
Um,
plays Hachiko.
he does. Yeah, it's a stunning performance.
Yes.
Yeah, he just wears a fundoshi with a tail attached to the back.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
but no,
Walks around going, 1-1. But the way he says
oh
1-1
yeah,
is
yeah,
such,
it
yeah,
reduces you to tears. The way he
yeah,
just waits at the
the
train station.
yakitori stand.
Um, no, it's no, really, yeah. I mean, there's few actors I think who could so easily play um characters of such a wide, yeah, variety. Like
Yeah.
real,
And so few male actors that also give you a boner at the same time, apparently.
for me,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Anyway, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I mean,
yeah.
that man had he could crack walnuts in those thighs. I mean, just
I see it. I agree with you. He's not on my particular list, I have to say, of head turners, but
mhm.
yeah, he's on the um what's called the honorable mentions list.
Right. Um, but yeah, no, I mean the world. I mean, honestly, the world has lost uh, a truly gifted artist. I mean, we are
Yeah.
we are we are less rich for not having Nakadai Tatsuya with us anymore. I mean, in fact, if I have any regrets, it's that in the 10 years I was there, I should have paid closer attention to where he was. If there was a chance to see him on stage or something like that, I should have made an
Oh, thank
effort.
God. I thought you were going to mention like chloroform or something like that, but
That too,
yeah,
yes, yeah, I should have had him stuffed.
I must
Uh,
see those thighs in the
I could
flesh.
have him in my living room. Um, but no, yeah, I should have tried because he was still working. I mean, the one I was
Yeah,
in Japan,
yeah. I don't
right?
know if he was still doing stage or not. I have no idea. I don't know anything about it. I'm guessing we're ignorant of probably. I mean, my guess is probably in theatrical. He's also a legend, right? And there were
Oh yeah.
probably really. Oh, did you ever see his,
And I
Hamlet
think
or something?
he
Or
was very, my understanding, he was very close to Abe Kobo, and that
oh,
he did appear in Abe Kobo's stage
interesting.
production.
Well, obviously he's in Face of Another, right? So,
Yes, yeah, and my understanding is that is because he had that connection already
oh,
through.
that's interesting.
Yeah,
Anyway, we
yeah,
could obviously have chosen another 6 films easily, 3 times over.
no problem.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, if you
yeah,
don't, if you're not familiar, get at it, get into some Nakadai.
yeah.
And next time, it's another dead man. It's
Hmm.
Udo.
Yes. Hmm.
So until then, toodaloo.